My next guest is the Vicar General of the Archdiocese of Port of Spain, Father Martin Sirgo. Good morning, Father.
Good morning, Lisa.
And welcome to the setup now.
Thank you.
TTT. So today is All Saints and tomorrow is All Souls,
Yes.
celebrated by the Catholic Church.
Yes.
Tell me the difference.
All Saints celebrates the saints. Who are the saints? Well, put very simply, the saints are perhaps the only living proof that we have that the Christian life is possible.
Mm-hmm.
Many people think the Christian life is an impossible life. It was lived only by Jesus, and human nature is just evil, and therefore goodness, saintliness are not possible. And the saints are countercultural in that respect, and they tell us, no, the Christian life is possible. Many have lived it, and today we celebrate the saints, those who already exist in heaven and form part of the communion of saints, and then those who live on earth and who are very saintly. And Catholic tradition says that those who are very saintly, when they die, they go to heaven. And those of us who are not, well, we have to stick around in a certain place and get some more prayers from the saints before we arrive in heaven.
Right. And All Souls?
All Souls commemorates generally all those who have died. So it's more inclusive in the sense that anyone who has died, the Church prays for them. And not only Christians, but everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Because God, being all-merciful, and whose instinct is to save and not to condemn, we pray for those who have died, that by God's grace, that they will also enter the kingdom of heaven.
And what are there any traditions that go with both All Saints and All Souls?
The traditions, to some extent, have become merged somewhat because usually in the Catholic Church, we teach that All Saints is the day when we remember the saints, and All Souls is the day when we remember our dead,
right,
and we light candles on the graves of our dead.
Mm-hmm.
In some other countries, they bring food, wine, milk, and so on. But even in Catholic countries, the days are somewhat mixed up. So what we do here on All Souls, some people do on All Saints in other countries.
Mm-hmm.
But traditionally, Roman Catholics reserve All Souls for the day when they go to the graves, they clean up the graves and so on, give the graves a facelift, and then decorate it and light candles in the evening.
Is there any connection between Halloween, which was commemorated yesterday, and All Saints, which is happening today?
Yes, in many of the cultures of Europe, you had this day before the 1st of November, so the 31st of October. And it was usually seen as a day when the restless spirits were around.
Oh, okay.
And so it goes by different names in different cultures, but they seem to have this understanding that the restless spirits, sometimes we say ghouls and goblins are around. And Halloween commemorates that aspect of what we used to call pagan culture.
Mm-hmm.
Christianity took a different turn in that it, as it often does, that it builds on what is already there. There's an expression in Catholic theology that says grace builds on nature.
Right.
So nature provided Halloween, and then Christianity built on that. And instead of celebrating the darker side, it celebrated the side of light.
Yes.
That which conquers the restless spirits, the evil, the darkness, and so on.
Mm.
So All Saints should make us think right away of Easter, because all the lights remind us of Easter.
Yeah, which, you know, Father, is actually my favorite time of the year. I know a lot of people love Christmas, but I love Easter because I see it as new birth, the beginning, that sort of thing. Yeah.
And also in some countries, in the East, All Saints' Day is celebrated just after Pentecost, as if to say the fullness of the life of the Spirit results in saints.
So All Saints is not a fixed day on the calendar around the world?
In the West, in the Roman Catholic Church, yes, it's on the 1st of November.
Right.
In the East, it is on a different date. As often happens, the Church of the East, which is also Catholic, and the Church of the West, they have different dates for important feasts.
Right.
One of the hopes is that for all the major feasts, we will come to one date when we can celebrate it
Or
together.
maybe we just have a lot of prayers happening around at different times.
Yes,
and so, you know, Diwali takes place next week, Tuesday. And Rishi and I were chatting yesterday, and he said, you know, Lisa, when I was explaining all this, he said, that sounds similar to something that we have in Hinduism, but we couldn't put our finger on it. Is there any similarities at all that you know about?
Well, I always find it coincidental that Diwali falls around the same time as All Saints. The two feasts or festivals are close by. I cannot speak as a Hindu, but all I can say is that the lights of Diwali is itself, for us, another instance of grace building on nature, that the lights of Diwali that light up the city and so on, and the villages and the towns, also remind us Christians that Christ is the light of the world, and it reminds us of Christ. In fact, in my village, in Fullerton in Cedars, where I grew up, East Indian families who are Catholic still light dias on Diwali to celebrate Christ who is light.
Nice, nice. Well, Father, thank you so much for coming out this morning. I really enjoyed, and I will not forget again that November the 1st is All Saints and November the 2nd is All Souls. Yeah?
Yes.
And I trust that a number of people go out and take care of those who passed. And yes, Father, you wanted to say
And
something?
let's not forget Shadow, because I think the mighty Shadow, even though clothed in black, he brought us a lot of light, and his songs on conscience and what's wrong with me and everybody is somebody. Those mentalities are important for saintliness.
Yeah, thank you very much, Father. Father Martin Sirgo, Vicar General of the Archdiocese of Port of Spain. Rishi, it's all yours.
That was very informative. Thank you very much, Father. And before you go, we have to take a selfie. So